Picture this. You are standing in the heart of basketball country, Indiana, the Hoosier State, a place where the game of basketball is practically a religion. Gainbridge Fieldhouse is supposed to be the new mecca of the WNBA, the undisputed center of the basketball universe, fueled by the arrival of a once-in-a-lifetime generational talent. The energy is supposed to be deafening. The expectations are sky high. But on Thursday night, the atmosphere inside that building was not electric. It was a funeral. The Indiana Fever just got absolutely blown off their own home floor. A devastating, humiliating 15-point loss. And here is the kicker, the part that is making every single fan completely lose their minds. Their franchise savior, the Golden Goose, Caitlin Clark, played out of her mind. She dropped 21 points on a hyper-efficient 66% shooting clip. She looked like a surefire MVP, and it still was not enough to save this team from a total and complete meltdown. But hold on to your seats, because the actual disaster didn't happen on the hardwood. The real catastrophe happened the morning after. How did the front office respond to a panic-inducing home loss? Did they calm the waters? Did they issue a medical update? No. They posted a massive, soulless, AI-generated promotional hype essay on social media. And ladies and gentlemen, the comment section immediately devolved into a digital bloodbath. Welcome back to WNBA She Serves. If you are tired of the mainstream media sugarcoating the truth, if you are sick of the corporate PR spin, you have found your new home. Grab a seat, lock in, and turn your volume all the way up. Because today, we are breaking down a fan base that is officially on the verge of a full-blown, pitchfork-wielding mutiny. We are pulling back the curtain on front office malpractice. And we are watching the Indiana Fever learn the most expensive, embarrassing lesson in professional sports. You cannot use ChatGPT to hype your way out of a fundamentally broken roster. Let us hit rewind and look at the brutal sequence of events over the last 48 hours, because the level of incompetence here is genuinely hard to comprehend. Thursday night, primetime. The Fever are hosting the Dallas Wings. For the first half, Caitlin Clark was putting on an absolute clinic. She was carving up the defense, shooting 4 of 6 from the field, making jaw-dropping reads, and carrying the entire franchise squarely on her shoulders. Then, the nightmare scenario unfolded. Clark takes a brutal, flagrant hit. She goes down hard. She grabs her kneecap. The collective heart of the state of Indiana completely stopped beating. She was forced to leave the game and miss the entire second half. Now, in a championship-caliber organization, when your superstar goes down, the supporting cast steps up. It is the next man up mentality. But the Indiana Fever, they folded like a cheap lawn chair. The minute Clark went to the locker room, the rest of the roster looked entirely lost. They completely collapsed. The supporting cast collectively shot an abysmal 20 of 54 from the field. That is pure Brick City. Let us talk about Kelsey Mitchell, a veteran guard pulling in $1.4 million on a Supermax contract. She finished the night as a -18, shooting a miserable 4 of 12. Sophie Cunningham, a giant goose egg, 0 points. And the defense? Do not even get me started on the defense. It was a turnstile. They rolled out the red carpet for Dallas, surrendering a mind-boggling 36 points in the second quarter alone. It was a varsity versus junior varsity performance from absolutely everyone not named Caitlin Clark. We are exactly 8 days away from opening night. The games are about to count for real. 3 key starters are nursing injuries. The defensive schemes look like they were drawn up in the dirt with a stick. So put yourself in the shoes of a general manager. What does a competent front office do in a code red situation like this? You address the elephant in the room. You come out immediately and give the fans a transparent medical update on your franchise player. You issue a statement acknowledging that a product on the floor was completely unacceptable and that everyone in the building is working overtime to fix it. You show accountability. But what did the Indiana Fever's PR department do? They woke up the next morning, booted up an AI chatbot, and churned out a 5-paragraph promotional essay. It was pure, unadulterated corporate fluff. It raved about the roster being loaded for a championship run. It talked about the unmatched energy of the fans. It read like a brochure for a timeshare. It had zero connection to the brutal, ugly reality that millions of fans had just witnessed with their own two eyes 12 hours prior. And the fans? Oh, the fans brought the hammer down. The backlash was instantaneous, ruthless, and entirely justified. The comment section under that post is a certified disaster zone. Let us read the temperature of the room. One fan wrote, "That was painful to watch. I hope CC is not re-injured. Stop the AI posts and start making real moves." Another top comment read, "Sign a backup center or trade for Brink right now." But the undisputed champion of the comment section, the single reply that ratioed the original post into oblivion, was an 8-word truth bomb that should have alarms blaring inside the front office. This franchise sucks so bad right now. The engagement metrics on that post were astronomical, but it was 100% toxic. The Fever tried to artificially manufacture excitement, and it blew up in their faces. This fan base is not interested in fake hype. They are not interested in corporate marketing speak. They are interested in actual basketball solutions. And that brings us to the elephant in the room, the massive, undeniable demand that is flooding every single social media platform right now. The fans are practically screaming at the front office to pick up the phone, call the Los Angeles Sparks, and execute a blockbuster trade for Cameron Brink. Nobody on ESPN or the big networks wants to touch this conversation, but we are going to dive deep into it tactically. Because on paper, in a perfect vacuum, acquiring Cameron Brink is the ultimate cheat code for the Indiana Fever. Let us break down the scouting report. Cameron Brink is a 6'4" defensive terror. She was the number 2 overall pick coming out of Stanford, drafted right behind Caitlin Clark. She suffered a devastating ACL tear her rookie year, but she has battled back through a grueling rehab and returned in 2025 looking like an absolute monster. She has elite rim-protecting instincts. She blocks shots at a historic rate. She devours rebounds. And she is developing a perimeter jump shot that forces opposing centers to step out of the paint. More importantly, Cameron Brink is the exact puzzle piece the Indiana Fever are missing. Have you looked at the Fever's front court depth chart lately? It is terrifyingly thin. Aliyah Boston, their anchor, has missed both preseason games with a lower leg injury. Without Boston, the paint is completely wide open. The Fever are being forced to start Monique Billings and a rookie, Michaela Timpson. Timpson has potential, sure, but you cannot ask a rookie with 2 games of professional experience to anchor a championship defense. Damiris Dantas shot 2 for 11. Maisha Hines-Allen was a -8. If Aliyah Boston misses any significant stretch of time during the regular season, the Fever are going to be bullied, battered, and bruised in the paint on a nightly basis. They will get run off the floor by bigger, more physical teams. Cameron Brink fixes all of that immediately. She gives the Fever a terrifying two-way presence. Imagine the sheer tactical nightmare of trying to defend a Caitlin Clark and Cameron Brink pick and roll. If you double-team Clark on the perimeter, she threads the needle to Brink, rolling to the basket for an easy, uncontested layup. Brink's elite shot blocking would lock down the paint when Boston needs a breather, and her transition speed would fit perfectly into Caitlin Clark's run-and-gun, fast-break offense. It is a match made in hoops heaven. But folks, here at WNBA She Serves, we deal in reality. We don't peddle pipe dreams. And the cold, hard truth that armchair GMs need to swallow is this: the Los Angeles Sparks are never, ever going to trade Cameron Brink. It is completely delusional to think otherwise. She is 23 years old. She plays in one of the biggest media markets on the planet. She is the undisputed face of the Sparks' entire rebuild. Los Angeles has absolutely zero incentive to pick up the phone, unless the Fever are offering a historic, franchise-crippling ransom of multiple future first-round draft picks and elite young talent. And guess what? The Fever do not have that kind of capital. Why? Because of pure front office mismanagement. They used their first-round pick this year on a guard, Raven Johnson, when they desperately obviously needed front court help. They built a roster that is bloated with high-priced perimeter players and left the paint dangerously exposed. They locked up massive salary cap space on veterans, leaving them with zero flexibility to make a major move. The fans have every right to be furious. The front office backed themselves into this corner. We are 8 days away from opening night. 8 days. The clock is ticking at warp speed. You have 3 starters banged up, a roster with massive structural flaws, and no magic wand trade scenario walking through that door. So what should the front office actually be doing instead of playing around with AI marketing tools? They need to be working the phones for realistic marginal upgrades. Scour the waiver wire. Look for a veteran big on a veteran minimum contract who can give you 15 tough physical minutes off the bench to spell Aliyah Boston. That is General Manager 101. But this whole AI post fiasco has exposed a much deeper rot within the organization. The Indiana Fever have a systemic, catastrophic communication problem. This is not an isolated incident. Head coach Stephanie White makes controversial comments about Caitlin Clark playing off the ball. Front office executives make confusing statements that alienate the fan base. Lynn Dunn publicly calls out the fans for complaining. Every single time someone with a microphone speaks on behalf of the Indiana Fever, it turns into a massive PR firestorm. This AI-generated post was the final straw. It proved that the people running the show in the front office are completely tone-deaf and disconnected from the reality on the ground. The fans do not want corporate spin. They want 3 basic things right now. Number 1, a crystal clear, transparent medical update on Caitlin Clark's knee. No more touch speak. No more smoke and mirrors. Tell the people who pay their hard-earned money for tickets exactly what is going on. Number 2, a definitive timeline for the return of Aliyah Boston and Lexi Hull. Number 3, a shred of accountability. Look the camera in the eye and admit that giving up 95 points and getting blown out on your home floor is unacceptable, and that defensive guru Stephanie White needs to get back to the drawing board immediately. If you are going to call yourself a defensive-minded coach, you cannot let the New York Liberty and the Dallas Wings run a layup line in your building. Holding a team to 75 points is good defense. Giving up 95 points is a complete schematic failure. The Indiana Fever front office has exactly 8 days to fix this mess, or they are going to permanently damage their relationship with the most passionate fan base in women's sports. They need to stop treating their fans like they are stupid. Stop posting fake automated hype videos. Start acknowledging the real problems on this roster. Present actual basketball solutions, and let the product on the floor do the talking. Because right now the loudest sound in Indiana is not cheering. It is anger. It is frustration. And angry fans do not buy season tickets. They do not buy jerseys. They go online and ratio your social media accounts into the dirt. If the front office does not change course immediately, opening night is not going to be a celebration. It is going to be a hostile environment in their own building. The regular season opener against the Dallas Wings is looming on national television. The lights are about to be brighter than ever. We will be right here covering every single dramatic second of it. If you want the real, unfiltered truth without the corporate spin, do me a favor. Smash that like button to feed the algorithm. Hit subscribe to join the WNBA She Serves family. And sound off in the comment section below. Do you think the Fever's front office is ruining